Nick already answered my question.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy. With me is Tom, Kate, and Joe. And Nick should be joining us soon. And he says in a few minutes, but that could be a few times that.
Next time, that's about 20 minutes.
Probably.
I was going to ask when we came on. Let me guess. He said he's going to be a few minutes late. And then just with that, and I looked over. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Oh, man. Okay, here we got comments. Let's see. Hey, Sandy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yes, so today we're covering one of the movies that a lot of people seem to be. So today we're covering a movie that a lot of people have been terrified of for the past 25 years. It's a found footage horror film called The Blair Witch Project. And I remember this being in theaters when I was 7 years old at the time. And I remember this coming out. I remember like all sorts of movies I remember from 1999. There was Phantom Menace. There was The Matrix, Lake Placid, all sorts of things.
It was a good year for film. So growing up, my parents had a sort of general store, but we also had a video library. And I remember the poster, and I always remember because I must have been like 9 then. And obviously I wasn't allowed to watch it, but when I did get to watch it, hi Mickey. I just think it's such a good concept. Like that director was groundbreaking on what he did.
Yes. I'm trying to remember the director. It was Eduardo. It had 2 directors. It was Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick. And,
just the whole concept was just genius.
It certainly was. It's like, it was made with it was really low budget. It was like $60,000.
Wow.
It's in the Guinness Book of Records, right? For the most, I think it was $250 million they made at box office. Yeah.
It was the highest grossing independent movie at the time.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gained a huge cult following and also got a couple of sequels and a video game in most recent years. Yeah, I get to play the game, but I hear it takes place like 2 years after the events of the first movie. But
yeah, the first movie, 2 scenes everybody always remembers: the one at the end with the dude up against the wall, and then the one right down there with the little liquid boogers coming out of her nose and all the hairs in her nose.
That confession scene, yeah, like scene, yeah, that was. But that still was a gripping scene. I mean, of course. This movie was also parodied in a Scary Movie, and even Scooby-Doo took a crack at it.
Zoinks!
And me and Nick did a reaction video to that as well.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
The Scooby-Doo project, yeah, where they parodied it. I'm thinking, so Cartoon Network of all people decided to parody Blair Witch Project.
I do remember that. They at one point there it was it Adult Swim? They would show like little clips of it here and there, like.
Right.
I don't know. I do remember that though.
Oh yes, and so this was like a lot of people claim this like obviously this did some major pioneering in the world of found footage, but the very first attempt, like one of the earliest examples of found footage like horror was a movie that I refused to do an episode on in this podcast, and it's Cannibal Holocaust. Nick is going to tell you plenty of it later when he decides to join. Here. I remember a spoof of it called The Blonde. Oh. I think I've seen that somewhere. I think I came across that somewhere.
Oh, cool.
Sounds like something that would be on the porn rack.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like a porno title.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Anyway.
Figures. Anyway. So, yeah, like, they were Cannibal Holocaust. I refused to, have it on here because it was because of what they did to make the movie. They actually killed live animals to make it, and they had us watch it at the university as like an extra. I think it was like an extra credit kind of a deal. And like I would not eat for 2 straight days that next day after seeing that, and I refused to watch it ever again. And I've been repressing it since then. Here, let's give me a quick call in the comments. Hey Thomas, good to see you.
Hi.
Nice for Scooby-Doo Zombie Island podcast where you.
Sure.
How are you,
Hello.
everyone? Oh.
They hung up.
Hi, Thomas.
Autocorrect, Mister. Oh, hey, Lauren. Good to see you. So, what do you think was the most terrifying aspect of Blair Witch Project?
So I just want to say something about how effective it is. And apparently it's so effective because it preys on our most primal and basic fears. And those fears are, number 1, fear of the dark. Number 2, fear of being alone. And number 3, fear of being hunted, because it's like our instinct. And like, that's what was scary for me, is like, it was the first time that I'd seen anything like that, where people are so vulnerable and you kind of imagine yourself in that situation. And I couldn't do it. I would be a mess.
Like, especially like in the scenes where I think I'm hearing
there's an echo.
Somebody's echoing.
It's me. I'll go mute.
Oh man. Well.
Okay, it's okay now. It's good.
Okay, I'm just saying that's terrible that she has. She keeps getting problems like that with her internet. But hopefully it gets better as we go. But anyway, so let's see. What were we saying? Oh yeah, like they were like where they kept hearing noises outside the tent, footsteps, and then the next morning they wake up and find those piles of rocks that we've been seeing throughout the movie. I'm like thinking, is that like a warning? Is it like
yeah. There's like so much tension in that movie. And did you know, I think it was the director, he was the one that was actually shaking the tent. And the actors didn't know that he was going to do that. So they were like genuinely terrified that was happening to them.
Yes, I read up on that. In fact, I recently came across a article, I believe. Let me just pull that up here. Okay, so let's see. Where was that? Here. So yeah, he said, I looked at it into what Eduardo Sanchez said. He was talking about how the actors apparently weren't even actors. They were just had a formal training on being in a movie like this. He said we wanted to put a level of realism into horror films. The gore had kind of taken over, and there was very little imagination. So he wanted to create something that had realism, something that would seem genuine, like real people would experience if they were out in the woods.
Yeah, and it worked 100%.
And the pre-marketing on this thing was I remember watching an entire episode of something on what was it, Sci-Fi or something like that, I think, and they made it out to be like it was real. Yeah, and they showed little clips and they said, here's some of the found footage and blah blah blah, but they didn't ever say that this is a movie, it's coming out. Like the whole show, it just played out, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it got people invested. They were just like, what is going on here? What movie? What is this from?
Yeah, like a month later, I saw like the commercials. I'm like, it looks familiar. Wait a minute, was that whole thing was a commercial? Friggin' 45-minute commercial or whatever it was.
We lost Nikki.
Oh, I think it's a connection, unfortunately.
Yeah, yes. Again, I feel terrible that she has to keep going through this on our Wi-Fi.
I know. Poor Nikki.
Yeah, well, so this became a huge hit in 1999. Like we said, 250 million, and then there was, I remember that god awful sequel, Blair Witch 2: The Book of Shadows, which came out in 2000, and it's a movie
I didn't even watch it. How can you top the first one?
Yeah, my advice: don't watch it.
It's out too quick to try to keep going.
I remember watching it when I was 12, seeing it on Sci-Fi, and it was horrible, and I refused to ever talk about it. I repressed that one as well.
Sooner talk about Velma.
Hey, how's it going, Rob?
Hi, Robert.
Hey.
What's up, Robert?
Hello.
G'day.
G'day.
Bye.
Yeah. So Robert, this time Blair Witch Project. I'm guessing you've seen it?
Yeah, in the cinema when it first came out.
Wow, that was back in 1999. I was only 7 years old. I was only 7 back then, so I couldn't see it.
How was it in the cinema? Were people gasping and I don't know?
It made me leave with an unsteady feeling. Not really sure how to react the way it ended.
Oh yes, it was
Weird.
yeah, it was just like you what you can't. It's like what you can't see can't hurt you. That's really what that was, because you never really see what
No,
it
you
was
didn't.
causing all this. You know, and like I remember the stick figures, and apparently those are still up to
Yes.
this day.
I've heard
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Well, you both heard it at the same time
Mm.
when we played golf. I talked
Yeah.
about that.
we did discuss that on that game Golf It. We did discuss that.
Yeah,
Yes,
because it's not far from where Stephanie used to live down in Maryland, and
Braxton.
we were looking to at one point to go to those woods, and I was going to do a video there. And when I looked into it, I saw that. I mean, I don't know if they're the movie used ones or just made by people and hung up
Fans.
around there.
Mhm.
But still, that's a cool thing. And you know, I wanted to go in and see if I could find some location.
Tom, you should do overnight in the Blair Witch Wood
I don't know about that.
camping video. That would get so
I mean, the
many
building's
views.
not there.
The
I don't
Tom
even think the building was in those woods. The building was in a different
But
area.
just tent,
But-
just pitch up a tent and film.
I'd go camping there. No
And
problem.
if you-
the Tom Nally
yeah.
project.
You can go
Yeah.
with Joe.
Tom
You
pitched the
enjoy.
tent. Mm.
That's a different kind of video.
Yeah.
That would be one you found on the porn aisle. That was right next to the Blonde Bitch Project.
Yeah, my God. Oh man. Oh, here. Then we'll just let that chug. There are wines in Tom's beer turning into Pepsi instead. Huh?
Oh God, that would be horror beyond horror.
So yeah, like if you
I
go on
hate
those
that.
woods, the Blair Witch will just troll you, Tom. It would just change your drink into something else completely.
Wait, she changed my Pepsi into a Coke.
No, that would be a nightmare.
Oh my God. Yeah, I already know what that was.
Okay, so we got a Blair Witch out here. We just got to put up a wall to keep her out because putting up a wall is the solution to everything.
Put a
Make
wall
it
around the
beer.
Yeah, putting up a nice big wall. Okay, we'll chop down some of these trees and we'll put up a wall that'll keep the witch out. Yeah. Problem solved. All thanks to my leadership. You're welcome.
Say what?
What did Thomas have to say that?
Oh, not me. I think you meant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
other Thomas.
Oh, he's referring to Thomas. Yeah.
first, I'm like, wow, what the hell did I say?
Oh wow. But let's see. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. Like there was, I just felt the genuine tension between the characters. That was actually like real because of how stressed the directors had like made the actors and actress in this. Let's see. There was Heather Donahue, who I believe, yeah, she changed her name since back in 2020. Let me look up what her name is now.
When you stumbled on your words there, you sounded like Porky Pig a little bit.
For me?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was comical.
wait. Am I having a problem with Wi-Fi now?
No, you were.
No.
You know how when you're,
Oh, here,
you're saying
found it.
something, you struggle on a word, and that's
Here.
what happened. But it just
Ray Hance. That's her name. That's her name now. Let's see.
Okay. So
40
she totally changed her name.
Yep. Let's see. 49 years old.
wow, that's really old. I don't want to be 40.
Let's
Oh
see.
yeah, bite me.
Let's see. University
I'm
of Arts
40
in.
now.
Oh, here.
I'm
University.
older than that.
Oh, here. University of Arts in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Let's see. There's Joshua Leonard. Let's see. Oh, he's the same age. Let's see. From Houston. Oh, nice. And let's see. Michael C. Williams. Yeah, so that's the three guys. There's who used to be Heather Donahue. Then, then here Joshua Leonard, and then here we have Michael C. Williams. Let's see. Oh, he's the oldest out of the three. He's 51 years old from New York City. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. I wonder why she completely changed her name. Like, did she just want to be?
No idea.
Maybe she wanted to get away from that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't. As far as I know, she's not acting anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting.
one and
Maybe
done.
she just didn't want to be a Donahue.
I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, they
Phil
did-
ruined it for them all. You know,
Exactly.
Phil Donahue. That's it. That nobody wants to be a Donahue
Oh
anymore.
no, nobody. But it's also worth noting that the director had also directed another found footage horror movie in 2014 called Exists. It's where a bunch of college kids go out into a cabin in the woods. Yeah, but little do they know that Bigfoot has staked out that territory and is not happy they're there.
So then they bring in Ash Williams. And
Get off my lawn!
Yeah, and it's actually pretty freaky. It's actually pretty terrifying. I've seen the movie. I actually do have a trailer loaded up for you guys.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, yep, for sure. All right, here we go, guys. Exists.
Brian?
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt the tender touch of a woman?
Brian just needs to be touched by another human being.
Me and Brian said sex life alone.
Brian alone! You ladies gonna get down next? Whoa!
I don't think so.
We are officially in un-GPS territory. Look. Woo! Rolling deep in the woods. Bro, your uncle has a cabin out here. Yeah, dude.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Trust me, guys, looks a lot better in the daylight. You gotta be kidding me, man.
Ew.
I went out and I bought one of these bad boys. We're gonna have the best YouTube video ever. Looks like a little love walk going on. I shouldn't be shooting this. What the hell was that? There's something over there! We ran across that ridge right there. Hello?
Let's go back.
I think we did something to him.
So no one knows we're here.
No.
What are you doing?
I got some GoPros set up. If anything moves up in here, Brian Tober's gonna catch it.
What is that?
Get the lights! Get the lights! Get the lights! There's no credible documented cases of a Sasquatch attack. Shut up about a Sasquatch.
It's okay. There's nothing out here.
Uncle Bob! It's Matt! We're at the cabin!
He's pushing us towards the edge!
No!
Wow. I feel like I don't have to watch the film now. I feel like I've seen it all.
Getting Yeah, the final scene, getting teabagged by a Sasquatch.
Don, you're still muted. No.
Okay, I thought I checked that out. I don't know. I guess it didn't work. Anyway, but yeah, I hear you, Robert. Because like the him jumping down right at the camera, I'm like, oh my god.
Sometimes horror is predictable.
Oh my gosh, it's so cliche.
It kind of was. I mean, it does have its moments where it gets pretty terrifying, but there are some moments where it's like, come on, you should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I gotta say, I do like how they have the actor played by they have Bigfoot played by Brian Steele. Hang on, let me. He has done some work in horror. He's primarily played villains. Not surprising. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, he's done some work for Predators. That one came out in 2010. Had Adrian Brody. Let's see, what else has he done? Oh yeah, he starred in the Underworld movies. He was in. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's also been in Terminator Salvation.
That's right.
Yeah, he's been in. Let me see how he looked in Exists. Here.
Actually, one of the horror films I really liked with Adrian Brody was The Village.
Oh yeah,
that was so good.
I remember that
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
where they're stuck in the past, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Village. Yeah, it's so good.
It's he did an amazing job with his makeup on this.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, and I wish Nick were here to see this because then I would have made a messing with Sasquatch joke. This is like messing with Sasquatch taking a very dark turn.
Well,
It would be.
they wanted to expand on those commercials.
Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
That was the trailer.
It wasn't a trailer.
Yeah, they pretty much
correct.
some of the good parts. Yeah, it wasn't a trailer. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Now he finally shows up after we.
There he is.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, guys?
You just missed it. We were talking about the movie that Eduardo Sanchez, director of Blair Witch Project, he also directed Exists.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry I was late. I was just finishing up dinner tonight, excuse me. And also, I mean, I'm not going to get into it too much. I had another rough day at work.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about it later on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
that reminds me of another movie that's just coming out either later this year or next year called Red. It's about a giant red kangaroo that goes on a killing spree.
Big old fat red. Good old red.
They are.
Kangaroos can be no joke, man. I've seen some of them that are like real built and stuff, like muscle.
They're the deers that get sit down here to go into prison.
I was going to say, I mean, like, despite their appearances, I mean, I heard they're actually kind of mean in a way. You know, they're not. Yeah, I was going to. So they're not. They don't always appear as cute and cuddly as everybody thinks they are. But yet, I heard some people have been attacked by them, and the results are pretty severe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Watchmen? Yeah, I believe that's the movie that Thomas is watching now.
No, I haven't seen Watchmen.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good one. And Nick, yeah, we were just discussing about how Exists is like a very dark, how messing with Sasquatch took a very dark turn.
Exactly. But, you know, I liked how they came up with the idea of making a true found footage movie with dealing with Bigfoot in it. And I'm not sure how much better you can get with that.
Right. Yeah. It's better than some Bigfoot movies, horror films I've seen. But
yeah,
as far as Blair Witch Project, what are your thoughts on it, Nick?
The Blair Witch Project, I honestly, truly, and I've said this a lot of times in the past, but I definitely think it's one of the coolest concepts to a film. I mean, even as a film director myself, I mean, even though it was a few years after I was born, still, it's like, I wish I could have thought of something like that, you know, having the actors filming their own and making it almost like a true found footage movie. And although I still remember to this day when they had commercials of it on TV, and just like a lot of people who've said when it first came out back in '99 that they all thought it was real.
Yeah, that's true. They thought the same thing when several found footage horror films came out, including Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, which is often regarded as the true first found footage movie that did have some inspiration for Blair Witch Project, but as I would usually say, I mean, when it comes to Blair Witch Project, wasn't necessarily the first found footage movie ever made, but it was the first one to definitely gain a lot of success and attention.
It did. And it went on to inspire all kinds of other found footage movies, such as, let's see, Paranormal Activity, for instance.
Yeah, I found that one scary, the first one. Like, I remember going, I think I actually went to the cinema to see it, and it was terrifying because it felt so real.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I saw that in theaters.
Yeah. Didn't sleep for like 2 weeks.
I don't know if you brought this up already, Don, but just although it was the first one that got a lot of attention, there was a previous horror film that came out the year before, in 1998, that was called The Last Broadcast. And in fact, even the poster says may have influenced Blair Witch. It certainly preceded it.
Oh.
Did they also have a chick in the dark with boogers coming out of her nose? Or?
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen. I just recently discovered this film. I mean, this film. So I haven't seen it yet. But what's interesting about, and we could talk about this maybe on a future episode. So just to give an idea of what Last Broadcast is, it does have a similar plot line to the Blair Witch Project. It tells the story of a man convicted in 1995 of murdering the members of his team during an expedition to find the mythic Jersey Devil in the Pine Barrens.
Oh, wow.
I remember that one.
Yeah. I never see that many Jersey Devil horror movies except for The Barons. That had Stephen Meyer from True Blood.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know of. But, here. Might have seen
Vampire Bill.
Blair Witch, never seen the whole thing. Oh, let's see. Well, I think it's worth seeing if you enjoyed a good found footage horror movie. I mean, I feel like it's right up there with Paranormal Activity, VHS. That's another good series. Yeah. You guys ever seen the VHS movies?
Mm-mm.
I know I have. You showed
I saw
them to me.
UHF, but that was a Weird Al movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are actually worth seeing. Like it's like takes a very unique approach to found footage horror. Like makes it like a anthology. Like each story taking place on a different VHS tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it has a nostalgic feel. It has a nostalgic feel too, like almost like they were actually made in the 90s, even though in reality they were filmed in 2012, 2013, but they really give that good quality look to it.
Yes.
Okay.
And I forgot to mention Eduardo Sanchez, who directed Blair Witch Project. He also directed one of the segments in VHS 2. He directed the segment "Ride in the Park," where there's this guy who was just bike riding, BMXing through the park. He has like this GoPro on his helmet, filming everything, and he stumbles into a zombie outbreak. He gets bitten. He gets bitten, turns, and then he experiences like a zombie. We get experienced through the eyes of a zombie, like with his GoPro.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
very unique concept.
Cool.
Was he tripping?
Tripping.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, he might wind up at the Winchesters.
But yeah, VHS. These are worth seeing. Except for VHS Viral. Ignore that one. That one's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So let's see. Oh, here.
Oh, Chris is finally getting home, so
Oh,
he'll
he's
probably be on in a few minutes.
okay. Oh, hey, no rush, Chris.
Robert, have you seen
yeah.
Deep Blue yet?
Seen
Oh,
what?
which movie?
Deep Blue.
Oh, Deep Blue. Yeah.
Yep. No? Okay.
Yeah, 1 second. Here, I mean that. I feel like. Wait, are you talking about Deep Blue Sea or just a movie that's just called Deep Blue?
It's just called Deep Blue.
Oh,
I believe.
did it come out in 2003? No way. That was a documentary. I knew of this one other thing that was called Deep Blue, but I don't think.
Oh, okay, yeah, it must be a documentary, yeah, about the divers that went missing.
Oh, yeah. That inspired Open Water.
Open Water, yes. That's that. When you said divers missing, I'm thinking, wait, are you talking about Open Water?
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you. Yeah, because
that was just off the coast, up north a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Open Water, the third film was was a found footage style take to it, but the thing is, it was originally called Cage Dive. They decided to have the name Open Water attached to it, thinking it would be able more success.
I thought it was a movie about Nicolas Cage.
I was thinking the Samuel L. Jackson one, but it wasn't that one.
I wish Nicolas Cage was abandoned in the middle of an ocean. Filmed.
Okay, middle of the water here. Oh, I see a fish. Oh, is that a dolphin in the back there? Oh, no,
Not a friendly dolphin. Not a friendly dolphin.
no, that's a shark.
Backstroke.
I would watch that. Definitely.
I gotta admit, I would too. I would.
I would. I would.
Yeah. Are you listening, Nicolas Cage?
That's good. That's wrapped around my leg.
Why would he be? I was about to say, why would he be watching your show?
Let's tag him. Hashtag.
For sure.
And if he does that movie and there is a scene with a dolphin, he has to say the line somehow that he did that on purpose. Gotta be done.
The Deep Blue Sea doesn't sound scary. I just find it as nature's beauty, and I say it because Dino Dan and Dino Dana are the true brave ones. What?
Yeah, those are TV shows that my niece and my nephews watch. That Dino.
Yeah,
Dan.
I see. I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, it's one of the newer kid shows. But anyway, yeah, like one of the biggest issues people had with Blair Witch Project was the way it was filmed. You know, like with handheld cameras held by the actors, like creating a lot of shaky cam effects. A lot of people puked in the theaters because of the motion sickness.
Yeah, my husband has terrible motion sickness. He couldn't watch it, and also like the VR headsets and things. Like he just can't. It just makes him vomit. And yeah, that's like one of the biggest issues with those styles. It's not for everyone because of the motion sickness you get.
Yeah, I remember them saying to have ginger with you when you go and watch it at the cinema.
Yeah, it doesn't really help though. Like, there's a limit to how much ginger you can eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, like I'd hate to be like the guys working at the movie theater who have to mop that up.
Oh God, that would have had to be horrible.
Lovely.
Yeah, because I remember years ago when this YouTube channel CinemaSins, where he covers points everything wrong he finds with movies. He covered Blair Witch Project and said, "I'm also going to send this movie for all those people who got motion sickness because they couldn't handle couldn't handle this movie because of motion sickness. I had to clean up your vomit because you couldn't get up and go to the bathroom. So you guys,
well, they got paid extra for it.
That's just part of the job.
Oh yeah, so apparently those guys who made CinemaSins, they were working in a movie theater. That's like how they met. You know, like this is, and then they decided to create a YouTube channel together. So CinemaSins.
Yeah. Right.
There you
go. I have to say that's one of the things like I can't deal with is sick. Like, yeah, I can deal with like poop, whatever. Sick, no.
No, there was like that time my sister's dog threw up, and they were telling me, "Dad, come over here and help me with this." I'm like, "No, I can't. If I go near that, I'll pass out."
No, and also cats. Like my cat is so dramatic when she vomits.
Oh, geez.
She's like,
all cats are.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Disgusting.
Yeah,
Hi,
Chris. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yep. So we were just talking about how a lot of people got sick from the motion sickness and seeing Blair Witch Project in theaters.
I didn't see it in theaters, so I can't talk about that.
I didn't either. I was only 7 at the time.
The beginning of what's it? Titanic made me sick when they did the 3D thing.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was called Titanic. I think it had a different name when they redid it, but yeah.
Oh.
So I can imagine.
Let's see. Blair Witch is one of the deadliest movies ever made. Well, it was deadly for the people that were characters in it. You know, none of them survived. Good. Oh, hey.
It was a movie. I thought it was real.
Official Skewered
Universal podcast. Okay. Hey.
I think I've seen that YouTube channel before. I'm just trying to remember where.
I might have as well. I'll have to check your channel out, man. So
yeah.
But yeah,
welcome. Cool.
Welcome. Good evening to you. So yeah, like I said, I have fond memories of all sorts of movies that came out in 1999, and Blair Witch Project is one that stood out for me because of the whole concept of found footage. That was new for me, because this was my early years. Because it was my early years of studying movies. But yeah, the idea of I expected that there was actually going to be a witch, you would actually see it. But yeah, when I finally saw the movie as a teenager, I was just like, okay, it's even though you don't see the witch, it's still terrifying because of the whole aspect that gives you the feel for you're actually there with them. You feel immersed when you see that.
The only thing you see is.
That's what I was gonna say. It's one of those classic horror films that you don't actually it's one of those classic horror films where we don't ever see the boogeyman. We never see the witch. We only see what's happening. So that's what I love about that movie.
Oh yeah, it
allows your imagination to run wild.
Tom.
That's all you see.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw Kate's message in the private chat.
Hey, Billy. Oh, hey, better late than never, man. You're all good.
Hey, Bill.
Let's see here. Wait, hang on one second. I wanted to see what's up. I see Nick as the brave one as well as nothing can scare him. Well, at least mostly
roaches.
Oh yeah, roaches scare me. Oh,
Flying right.
Sorry, Don.
Hey,
Sober Tom would scare me. No, I'm kidding.
Hey. Don, would you do covers of the sequels in the future? I have not seen the newest Blair Witch, from 2006 to 2015, or 2016. I haven't seen that one. I have seen Blair Witch 2, but that was like ages ago, and I repressed most of it because of how terrible it was.
And he was 8 then.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it when I was 8. I saw it on Sci-Fi when I was like 12.
Oh.
And I remember how bad it was.
Jeff is from Tales from the podcast, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jable.
Is it?
How you doing? Yeah.
Oh my God, I think it is him. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Why didn't we send him an invite of him coming on to the show? Damn it.
Oh, we could. It's not too late.
I'll message him.
He's the Jack Black lookalike. Jables.
Well, hey, Jeff, I gotta say, I still gotta figure out when I can. I know you invited us to join your Tales from the podcast, but I'm sorry I've been busy lately, but I promise to when real soon we'll to pick a Saturday we'll join.
Yeah, we will. This time we'll get the whole crew together. I mean, depending on everyone's availability, we'll get the whole crew together. Come on, Tales from the podcast, because definitely would like to catch up with you guys, and of course watch another episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Be awesome to do again.
I thought you were going to say watch another episode of This Is Tom's World.
I can talk to them and say we can make that happen.
Tom should make his own.
This is Tom going into the forest, never to be seen again.
I'll tell you what.
The Tom Nally Project.
That's right. The Tom's World Project.
The Tom Nally Project. For season 3. Oh yes, that was one of my favorite seasons, Jeff. So I'd be up for it.
Nice.
So would I.
Yes, what was it? Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was like a staple of my childhood. So.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's funny is that you were just talking about how 1999 there was a whole different collection of horror films that came out this year. 1999 was also the same year when they revived Are You Afraid of the Dark, because they took that break in the mid 90s. They stopped for a couple of years, and then they revived it for a second time, even though it didn't go as long as the first series went. At least it came out that same year. And yes, I heard about Charles Cyphers. Yeah, he passed away.
I didn't know about
85 years. Yeah, he was 85 years old. I wasn't sure if you knew it, Don, or not, but yeah, he passed away 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly, Don.
Man, rest in peace, Jess. I remember him from Halloween. I remember him from The Fog. He was a good actor.
What's up, Amanda?
We're losing them all.
And we are.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, it was on Nickelodeon. Yep.
It was on Nickelodeon.
At night.
Yep.
What were you saying, Don?
It was on TV before, shortly before I was born. So.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it came out in 1990.
And I bet you guys are so young, you also remember Face from Nickelodeon. That big face. Hi there, Face here.
I do.
Yeah, I certainly do. And I remember loving that as a young kid.
I couldn't stand watching all that. But when Tommy was a kid, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to shoot myself in the head in a minute.
Oh my God. But hey, Joe, what do you remember when Blair Witch Project first came out in 1999?
No.
Yeah, did you see it in theaters?
No, I couldn't go to theaters back then.
Oh,
I was under strict orders not to.
Oh, I see.
Compromised immune system really bad at that point.
Yes.
I was still on medication and still going to.
Oh.
Did you have it in your video library though, Joe, when you had your video shop thing?
Well, I heard about it and did a lot of research on it back then, because I was in the video business for a while. And I swear somewhere along the line, where's an echo coming from? That is nuts. But I heard, they raised the money through a contest, and I couldn't find it today. But back then, Blockbuster had a contest that if you won all this like $100,000 or something, and you could make the movie. So all you had to do was come up with a concept.
Right.
But I did watch it as soon as I was able to. And no, it's not in my collection. I didn't like it myself. It was too jumpy for me.
We lost Kate.
So
Yeah,
all that
no,
jumping
that's okay.
around,
Thank you.
it kind of lost my attention. You know, I had a hard time watching it because of the way it jumped around. Even today, I had to watch it twice.
Is it because of the motion sickness, Joe? Do you get a bit?
No, I don't get motion sickness. It was just driving me nuts and giving me a headache.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, that's happened to a lot of people.
You know, I don't get motion sickness. You know, and I don't scare easy either, but
I get vertigo.
you know, it just was very hard for me to watch and keep my attention.
What is that?
Not everybody that films videos films that shakily.
Yeah, I know.
That is true. I mean,
I do, but I'm an old man, and that camera after a while, even though there's so little now, gets a little heavy.
Right.
I mean, you if you've seen any
You
of the
don't care how
live,
you video, Tom.
if you saw any of the live feeds I did in Michigan when I was out of the car, my phone was probably shaking quite a bit a couple of times, or more than that, because I think, you know, even though that's little, it still gets heavy on the old man's arms.
Well, I feel like probably the biggest scene that got a lot of people sick was probably that scene where they were all running out of the tent into the night, and like as they're running, the camera's just bouncing around like
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
I'm pretty sure that scene caused a whole lot of the motion sickness that a lot of people had suffered.
But I heard that they sure did have a lot to clean up in the theaters.
Yeah.
You know? It was on the local news here that there was actually people that worked for the theaters that quit on the spot because they refused to clean that stuff up.
Introducing the Splash Zone.
The Splash Zone. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's just horrendous.
Oh man.
See, after the
Well,
first flight, they should have just covered the whole floor in tarps. And
Well,
it would have
it's
made it a
like-
lot easier.
Yep. And it's like, you know, after the first one does it, you know, it sets off a chain reaction.
Yeah, it does. It's like fainting. It's like
It's like in Stand By Me when they were telling the story of that dude in the pie eating contest.
Oh yeah, people exiting the theater probably.
That was sick.
Oh yeah.
Bit like the chunk in Goonies.
Oh yeah.
I bought this fake spew and was over the top balcony and then there and
I remember that scene. The scene where Chug made everybody puke on each other. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I also still remember this too to this day, where when I first watched it, funny enough, and I've told a lot of you guys about this. First time I saw it, I actually showed it when I used to run my paranormal club back in high school. So I don't remember how many people we had in the classroom, you know, at the time, but I know there was definitely a lot of people, and they were really fascinated. I think they were kind of captivated by what they were watching. So it was so unusual for them at that time. Hey, what's up, Darren?
Hey, Darren.
How's it going?
What's up, Darren?
Yeah, Darren.
Darren Stevens. Oh, that's Bewitched. Never mind.
yeah, I was looking at when Men in Black came out, but that was 97, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
97.
I remember that very clearly. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to watch it when I was 7, but I did.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to watch Evil Dead when I was 10, but I did anyway.
Yeah.
I know you weren't supposed to watch Jaws when it came out, but you did.
Yeah, I probably wasn't supposed to see Jaws at 5 years old, but my parents showed it to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly new then at that point.
Yeah, thanks.
I
Mom.
wasn't supposed to watch Ghost Story when I was 5 either.
Hey.
Great movie.
Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad, for showing me that movie that inspired me to study film.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
right there.
I do
Sorry,
too,
Kate,
Darren.
Oh no worries. I'm just saying, like back in the 90s, like I'm not sure how it was in the US, but in the UK, we had like universal ratings that was like for everybody, and then there was like PG, parental guidance, and my parents were like, oh, it's fine, like you can watch anything with U or PG when from the age of like 0 to 12, and then I could watch 12s and blah blah blah. But I'm sure there were so many films in the 90s that came out as a PG. I should not have been a PG. Like, seriously.
Yeah, there really is, like, especially when you look at a lot of these older films, thinking, wow, they actually passed that for a PG rating?
Well, the ratings changed a lot over the years.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
See, I would have expected
PG-13. There was no.
I was just about to say, see, I'm surprised Blair Witch, I get it was rated R, but I'm actually surprised it didn't get a PG-13 rating instead of an R rating.
Well, I think it was mainly R because of all the F-bombs that were dropped. They were like,
there was quite a few.
Yeah, it's true.
Well over 100 of them.
It's like watching
You
Tom.
can create a drinking game out of that. Every time somebody drops an F-bomb, you got to take a shot.
Or whenever somebody screams, Josh, take a shot.
Yeah.
Tell me where you are, Josh.
It was also Jumanji that terrified me as a child. So I watched that when I was about 5, and that terrified me.
That terrified my daughter too.
I can imagine.
Just the drums, like hearing the drums.
and it is
When did
in a
that
way.
come
I
out?
mean, you could tell that was based off the Ouija. That was based off
When
the
was
Ouija
it?
board.
Yeah, 1995.
1995. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5. I watched
So
it.
she was.
Yeah, and then Kirsten Dunst, who then played MJ in Spider-Man.
She was about 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
She was about 5 or 6 when she watched that.
Yeah, such a good film, but it was terrifying for kids, definitely.
And when they made the game, and it was in a Toys R Us store,
Yeah.
and she saw it
Yeah.
on the shelf, she's like, "Oh no, fuck no!"
Oh,
And she started running down the aisle saying, "Get that away from me!"
Oh,
hey,
damn.
Darren, what's
Hey, Darren.
up? Don?
Not too much. How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, Don, this is Darren Buss. He's another show host on BB3 TV.
Oh, nice. Hey, Darren. How's it going?
How's everybody
Dan.
doing today?
What the hell is BB3
good.
TV?
I told you I saw those 3 on the
Happy,
license
Derek.
plate, right, Tom?
I'm actually
No.
using a new device tonight. Instead of my computer, I'm actually using my iPad Air.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
So it's got a
Fancy.
landscape mode camera on it now.
Very fancy.
So not too much.
But it's not in the air.
I'm in the air. Right.
Cool.
So when you guys were talking about the Blair Witch and all that stuff, yeah, that movie scared the crap out of me. It was so bad that I actually got the old hag syndrome out of it.
Oh, yes.
No.
Because it stressed my brain out so much, because when you watch something, you're so focused on it, and
Yeah.
it just messes with your mind so bad. And on top of it is like my room, the way how it was set, because I was living at home at the time with my parents, and it's like, I think it was like a dream within a dream, where like I was awake, and it seemed like my room was like flipped upside down, everything covered in blood.
Jeez.
And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I ran downstairs. I got one of my parents. I was like, come upstairs, something wrong in my room. I get in my room. I was like, nothing's wrong.
That's right.
No.
I'm like, what the hell just happened here?
Sounds like someone sold you a bad batch.
I don't have
Yeah, right.
We're really good
I think I
ones.
should have had another batch.
Yeah, a really good one.
So, like, you woke up in the morning and did anything leave any of that slime on your stuff?
but not
Like-
today.
Like they found outside the tent?
No.
Yeah. Like Josh's stuff got slimed.
No stick figures either.
I've been slimed.
Well, I think that's going a little too deep for me on that one.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Oh,
Hey, now we got the Brady Bunch going
How you
on.
That's
doing?
Joe's out.
Hey, everybody.
The Fear fan bunch.
How you doing?
Good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great. Love your background.
All right.
I was just looking at it.
Background
grab
is
it on the
awesome.
fly.
I love it.
Hey, I finally got a green screen, so I was like, I'm going to use it.
Full group tonight. Holy man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got.
How many people are watching Nick?
But yeah.
Yeah, and like people, I mean, I've had people like ask me like, what? Why it was Mike just standing there back in just that corner? And I'm just like, the witch made him do it because he had been a bad boy lately.
That's right. He said the F word too many times.
Yes, he did.
He kicked the map.
He kicked the map. Yeah.
But I think Evil Dead's a pretty good movie. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren, you said about your iPad Air. Is that a helicopter in your room?
What's that?
Is that a helicopter in your room?
Helicopter? No, that is actually a fan.
Oh, sorry, iPad Air.
No planes in here.
His room has propellers that can fly.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, I am relaxing. I have had a long day today, so was in Milwaukee because my wife's in the hospital, so she's been in there for
so sorry.
3.5 months, pretty much. So,
Oh, sorry to hear that.
so I was just there traveling today. So,
no, I wish the very best on her recovery.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's been a
Absolutely.
long time coming. So it took enough stuff out of her, that's for sure. So
that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. Procedure today, prior procedure next week. So, all due to a necrotizing pancreatitis.
Oh.
Wow, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they said it was in this whole because it started like the beginning of March, and up to this date, it said she could have pretty much passed about 5 or 6 different times.
Wow. Well,
Because
thankfully
of how
she did
bad
that.
it was. So,
I'm sorry to hear that.
but she's doing good. She just had something done today, but she's in a lot of pain now. But she'll be okay. She's a tough lady. So
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I mean, if you could go through 5 bouts of necrotizing pancreatitis, you're doing all right.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
No.
So.
Right. So, yeah, Darren, that was one of my subscribers, Santi. So,
Yeah.
hey, your wife is in all our prayers.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, appreciate it. It's not too often I share stuff like that, but it's been a long road.
Oh, I hear you.
Well, you have our you have our support.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, be right back.
So, I should say, what movie scared you the most, Nick?
Sorry, what was that?
What movie scared you the most?
Oh man, scariest one that probably I think the one that probably scared me the
Kate
most. so
Spencer's
far
Ghost
was-
Rider.
No,
Don't you
Ghost
even
Rider.
start with Nicolas Cage. Stop it.
Vampire's Kiss.
Stop it.
It would have to be, and well, and you know what? This movie does have kind of that found footage look to it too, and that's poor Kate.
I can't
look at
do
Jeff.
it.
I can see myself.
How many did you have?
They-
Like, that was like 50 of his face.
I found it randomly and I had to hit it.
That's like a nightmare. Can you imagine?
Oh, there could never be too many of me.
Can never have enough Nick Cage.
Instead of like,
You
not the
think that
bees,
The
it'll be like,
Exorcist was
not
scary at all?
the cages.
I will tell you one movie that actually I do consider absolutely terrifying, Jeff, because you were asking Nick what his.
Well, I didn't say what movie it was yet.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, and this movie kind of does have that found footage look to it too, and that's undoubtedly Sinister that came out over a decade ago.
That was terrifying.
Those got me at
that
the
one.
time.
I didn't sleep.
Which, by the
between-
way, they're now talking. They actually are talking about wanting to make a sequel to it. I know they, even though they made one almost 10 years ago.
They did.
But the problem was, I mean, I know the sequel for it didn't get as good of reviews as the first one did. But Scott Derrickson, the director of the original film, and who also directed Exorcism of Emily Rose, he said that it's definitely possible to make a new sequel for Sinister. They just didn't go in the right direction with the second film. So I think, in a way, they're going to make it as a direct sequel. It's going to ignore the events of the second one. So there is likely a chance there's going to be a new franchise.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting. What did you guys think of Paranormal Activity films?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Yep.
We covered that a couple months back. But yeah, Paranormal Activity, I thought it was... it had a pretty awesome concept, like a really unique take about hauntings and possession, and like just really showing what goes bump in the night. That was man, that was actually oh, of course, those are Nicholas Cage.
What did I miss?
Look at Tom.
What did I miss?
Look at Tom. Look at Tom.
Bump in the night. Everybody started laughing.
Bloody hell. I'm going to see that as soon as I close my eyes tonight now. It's going to be Nicolas Cage right in my face.
We should all do that.
I will be
Right, I'm going to find one now. Go there. I'm going to find one.
That cockroaches I can get Nick back for you.
Let's see.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a bit too far, Chris.
There's a movie that I think
you were
is
saying
under the
though?
radar, and a lot of people don't talk about it much. It's got Sam Neill in it. It's In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, yeah. The Mouth of Madness. Yeah.
That movie was freaking nuts.
It is.
You watched it. I saw it at the big theater. Of course, I was drinking beer while I was watching it, but still, it was enough where it just messed with your head. Like, you walk out, it's like, what did we just watch? You know, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's the visuals in that are insane. And
Yeah.
the shot of the guy just coming across the street to the window at the beginning.
Yeah.
When the axe is like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Right.
First time I
Right.
saw it, I was blown away.
I would have ran the clown over.
Yeah.
Not a fan of clowns.
Oh, jeez.
It's going to take more than running me over to stop me.
Oh, my God.
I have not seen that yet.
I'm a vampire.
That's just me. I'm not a fan of clowns, but clowns do make like the best horror movies though sometimes.
Butt clowns.
Anyway, the best
Yeah.
one there was.
I despise clowns. I have a fear of clowns, but it's not the run away and hide. It's the I'm going to beat the crap out of you until you stop moving kind of fear.
Oh my God.
I know a guy who's a haunt actor who dresses up as a clown, but it's not like a traditional clown per se.
Yeah.
It's okay, Tom.
Chaos unright.
Oh yeah.
I went through one Halloween haunt maze at an amusement park here in California, and not Disney, but
Matter of fact,
friends of mine forced me to go through the clown maze, so I walked through with my fist clenched the entire time.
that's chaos.
I would too.
You know, that brings up a story I remember from high school of a social worker that I think he's back at working at the school now.
I don't think that's
I
true.
remember he told me that. I remember he would tell me this almost every time it got close to. I remember it got close. He would tell me every time it got close to Halloween. But he said one time he went through a haunted house walkthrough. I don't know if it was a clown that he saw, but it was definitely one of the scary guys. And one of the guys jumps out, and my social worker, he literally got freaked out so bad that he actually built up his fist and punched the guy right into the face. And then he suddenly realized what he had done. He's like, oh my God, I am so sorry.
Oh
but it didn't matter because after that guy just like disappeared
I did that,
back.
but it was a roller coaster
Yeah, he
through a
just
haunted
disappeared
house.
back into the darkness.
And I was riding that, and I was in the very back, and the dude actually touched my shoulder.
Yeah, they're not supposed to touch.
Yeah,
yeah, no, they're not
same
supposed
thing
to.
in Wisconsin Dells, and I got kicked out of it.
I knew who it was,
No,
so that was the thing. I think he was just trying to be like, haha, I know Chris. Haha, I'm gonna.
I worked at the park that I went through this maze at. So before we got off work and went through this maze, for years I had heard stories of people getting punched. And I actually saw, I don't know if you guys have ever seen for any of these attractions, the players that dress up as monsters and they'll run and slide on like knee pads.
Yep.
And they'll have.
Really?
I saw a guy
sparks
get a
go.
full head of steam, hit his knees, and face plant.
Oh,
I was like, I got to get back to work, and he got up, shook it off, and then went backstage. I was like,
yeah, I mean, oh my god, oh my god.
So has anyone been to Iowa lately?
No,
I did a year ago.
Okay, so they had this haunted attraction in Iowa. I believe it's not too far out by Storm Lake. It's in Shaler, Iowa. And
okay.
This is like a barn set up as an old. It was an old popcorn factory, but they made it into a haunted house. But it actually, the location is haunted itself, and it's crazy. Every October they go through all this stuff, and it is just fantastic. And people are running around, dressed up as clowns, dressed up as Michael Myers. They got people running around with chainsaws at people. It's
fun.
Nuts.
It is, man. I've seen it.
Road trip.
I've been.
Yep, let's go. We're all going to Iowa.
I have been to haunted houses like that. I mean, I've actually done most time, and I've done.
They even show movies.
Yeah, I've done.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've been on Iowa. So about time I go back.
Oh, and Kate,
They show movies. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Kate, I just want to say, Kate, that picture, I have just a thing for that. Let's see, that's me as Cinderella. That's my newest role.
Isn't he beautiful? That's like one of my favorite
Hey,
pictures
you know what?
of him.
I'm just gonna say this right now.
She has a
That would be
love-hate
perfect to use. I'm just gonna say right now, that would be perfect to use for a haunted house walkthrough.
Just Nicolas Cage being Disney princess.
Yeah, that will scare anybody.
And he has to sing Disney songs.
Yeah.
Wow. And then in New Zealand, Spookers used to be at a mental asylum also. Oh, so they did something like that too in New Zealand. Okay.
They did, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and also like, so some of the, like, there's so much tension that builds up between like I said before, the characters in Blair Witch Project, and the actors really genuinely felt that, because being in the woods, filming for days and having people shake the tents and when they're sleeping in, and then like it made them like very irritable. Like that really worked as far as like the character conflicts that they had in this. Like Mike and Josh are always freaking out about Heather, constantly filming, like, documenting everything, even though it's like I do agree with her just to some extent, like especially getting footage of the stick figures, which remind me, where are those stick figures located exactly, Nick? I think you mentioned.
I think it was in Tom, you actually said you might possibly actually no, talk to Tom, because
Tom,
he actually I was gonna. I know it was. I mean, I know in the film it was set in Maryland, but
yeah, that's where it was filmed.
Actually,
yeah, Blackwoods.
I was gonna say, was it actually shot in Maryland, or was that in Pennsylvania?
Well, what do y'all think of like the reboot version?
Oh, the new one from a few years ago.
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
I haven't
the
seen
house
it.
being the way how it was.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but what's interestingly enough, and I'm planning on doing this for this upcoming Halloween season, I know they made a game too, so I haven't seen the movie, but I do have the game, and I am planning on playing it later this year.
I played the game. The game is interesting. It does get creepy.
Seneca Creek State Park in Montgomery County, Maryland.
Okay, so it is okay. It was actually shot on location then.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
And where Stephanie lived was not that far from there, like maybe like 45 minutes to an hour drive or something like that. And we were going to go there at one point. We still might. I mean, she wants to go down there and visit. So,
yeah, that sounds like a good
trip. Be it. Another episode of This Is Tom's World.
There you
Might
go.
be the new. Yeah, no, even better. This is the official remake of the Blair Witch Project.
the remake that we need, hopefully, because because that's the reason why I haven't watched like the latest one because from 2015 or 2016 from those years ago. Because after Blair Witch 2, I was just like, nope, I've lost faith in Blair Witch Project sequels.
Yeah. You know, I was actually. I even came up with a.
I'm sorry. What, Darren?
And 2, they had better looking chicks in there, I think.
Well, you weren't seeing up somebody's nose with nose hairs coming out like tarantulas.
You know,
but that's
I was going to
sells,
say,
right?
and I've told Tom this before. I was just kind of picturing if this was, since he's heading down there, I just thought, okay, so in 2024, some crazy guy named Tom Nelly went down to the woods to try to capture what was lost, involving the Blair Witch Project for a YouTube channel called This Is Tom's World. A few days, well, not a year, not a year later. I would say a few days later, his footage was found
in a van down by the river.
Down by the river.
Down by the
Long as a
river.
6-pack of beer, empty.
Well, the churches alone in West Virginia are freaky.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Because I've
Yeah.
been to West Virginia.
It would never happen, Santi. Never.
Hi, I'm a friend, Dad.
I didn't lose my slipper. I lost my knees because I got to take my knees.
I lost my slipper to the base.
Gotta hang on tight.
I wanted to ask you guys, have you seen so this was because we were talking about films that really scared us. One of the films I watched was in 2020 on Netflix, and it's called His House. I think it's a British film.
It's on my list.
That was actually really creepy, really, really disturbing. So yeah, I recommend that one. Yeah.
That's
His House.
title too.
Nice. One movie
His
that
House?
that we did
Mhm.
cover that I thought was absolutely terrifying, which is also found footage.
Oh, I already know what this one is.
Yeah.
I know exactly which film you're pulling out.
Jeff was asking, so
Trevor.
Yes,
Oh
right.
yeah, the Spanish one, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
this one
that's
was
good.
scary. This was genuinely scary.
Yeah,
Fantastic movie.
Oh yeah,
Jeff wants to see something.
really well directed as well.
yes.
So does
Okay,
anybody
so I
like
just-
documentaries too much?
I don't know
Like
Siren Head.
Van Meter? Have you seen any of that stuff with Josh Hurd?
Van Meter, I've heard of. Yeah, I have the Van Meter Visitor.
Yep. That's in Iowa too. Van Meter,
Van
Iowa.
Meter, Iowa.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's an
I-
interesting story.
I was
Yeah, it's-
I was supposed to go there once, and that's another story in and of itself.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's on my bucket list to go there.
Yeah.
To
I
basically
want to get
just
out
kind
there
of make it a long story short, for those that don't know, the Van Meter Visitor was a cryptozoological being that visited the town of Van Meter, Iowa back in 1903 at the turn of the
Yep.
century. And in a way, it's often been described as like a Mothman-like creature because it was like a giant humanoid creature with wings, and it terrorized the town of Van Meter for what, a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, and
I don't remember how.
they were. a
I don't
mining
remember
town at
exactly
the
how
time.
long. What's that?
They were a mining town at the time.
Right.
Yeah, they
right.
were.
It got stuck in a mine, and then it just
They
got
trapped
collapsed
it.
in the mine.
They like exploded the mine after they saw it.
Yeah.
Like blew it up after they saw it go in.
Mine?
Yeah.
Nice, Tom.
The film is actually called 1903. So,
Yeah, I remember, and just like a lot of other, because now a lot of paracons are doing this with cryptids. They actually have a Van Meter festival,
Yeah.
for the event.
Yeah.
So it's
Correct.
but yeah, even still, it's an incredible story, and there's still a lot of paranormal investigators that go out for it, even though there hasn't been reported sightings of this creature, at least as far as my understanding, since 1903. That doesn't mean, of course, that perhaps this creature is still underground in the mines that it's been trapped, because it's been in prison this entire time. And there's a lot of speculations on what it could be. Again, some say it is maybe a relative of the Mothman. Others say it could be an extraterrestrial type or demonic type being. I mean, there's a lot of theories on what it could be.
Yeah.
And
if I see that, I'd probably shit myself.
Yeah. When you guys were talking about Van Meter, I originally thought you were referring to Van Meter Hall from my university. That's where I did. That's where our theater is at, performance theater, where I did some work there because I had a minor in theater, but I was doing a whole lot of stage work for them, and I've heard all these stories. I've heard all these stories about how haunted that hall is.
Wow.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like people were seeing shadows and figures, and blood. There were blood spatters on the stage itself that would disappear, reappear after people cleaned it off. I've heard all these different stories, and I'm just like
crazy.
And I've been told, and actually the show Ghost Hunters, obviously you guys know that show, right? They actually visit to there while I was there.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see them there.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it was great.
It is. I have a question for Jeff, actually, J-Wolf. What was the first ever horror movie that you saw ever in your life? And you were like, wow, I love horror now.
The first one I saw, and some people will say it's not really horror. The first one I saw was as a kid that scared the crap out of me. It was Gremlins. I didn't finish watching it. What got me, so it kind of hooked me in a sense, but I'd say later on it was watching on local television the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the Friday the 13th movies, Creep Show, things that were just on local television. But Gremlins is the first horror movie I actually watched that scared me as a kid. I hid around the side of the TV when, as soon as the pods were opening, I was like, nope. I hid around the side of the TV.
I loved it, but I knew Howie
I don't
Mandel was
blame you.
doing the voice of Gizmo. So
Howie Mandel, he's Gizmo. Yeah,
Poltergeist here.
I always did love Gremlins as a kid. I watch it every Christmas now.
Oh yeah, it's a staple.
It is.
It really is.
Oh, that's cool.
Cloverfield? Yep, I remember Cloverfield as well. I saw that when it came out in theaters in 2008. Another good found footage horror.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about Cloverfield at first, but now that years have passed, I actually have, definitely a more respect to it. So I guess because even my brother was telling me at the time that it looked like it was kind of a dumb film, but then I guess again as years went on, we started realizing, thinking, you know what, this is actually pretty good compared to a lot of the other modern day found footage movies.
Oh yeah,
That can happen.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to see this one called Grave Encounters. A lot of people.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my god, I was just looking up that movie just a few days ago, Grave Encounters, and that's
You got two of them.
Yep. There's two of them, and
who's gone? Who disappeared?
Tom.
Tom, yeah. Not sure why, but
He heard Grave Encounters and he just was like,
oh.
Another beer.
Wait.
I haven't seen Grave Encounters, so I have no idea.
He's got Pickle Rick on the bottom.
Oh, I thought we were going to be talking to Tom's chair.
Hey, listen, I'm really sorry that I just kind of popped out there.
Portal.
I fell right into one. I didn't even notice it was there.
Yep, he fell into a portal. Now he's back.
Oh, jeez, Rick, you got to be careful with that portal gun.
You know what? I know.
What is everybody's ideal horror film that you think that has never been made yet?
I know one that a script was written for that should have been made that was never made.
Oh, what is
it? Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That would be good.
I would watch it.
I would love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
It should have happened.
Yeah, I heard rumors about Jason versus Michael, but
I've heard that.
Yeah, but
there
I've seen something like that on Facebook, but then you know how they do all that stuff on Facebook, and then they're just BS
Yeah,
titles.
Yeah.
It could be a silent film.
There were so many
There was
rumors
also
that
even
went
a
around.
story. There was also even originally a plan to make another crossover horror film several years ago, and I think you guys would probably agree it's probably not the right combination. But they wanted to make this happen. They actually wanted to make a Candyman versus Leprechaun film, and I know, right? Doesn't seem like it worked. Well, and when Tony Todd, when he was approached that, he absolutely refused.
Candyman.
Yeah, he absolutely
Sharknado
refused.
versus The Thing.
No, he absolutely refused to be part of anything like that because even to this day, Tony Todd has far too much respect for his character. So then he would realize that if he started a movie like that with the Leprechaun, it was going to take away the seriousness from his previous appearances as that character. So
no, Candyman is a very serious horror film.
I think it was
they
probably
honestly use Hornswoggle.
Leprechaun is your popcorn
Hornswoggle.
horror. You sit down, you have fun. It's ridiculous. Candyman is, this is really messed up at times.
It is.
Yeah, it's like you have to respect him.
Yeah.
The original or the newer version?
That original Candyman was like based on some original like story.
Bloody Mary legend.
Urban legends.
And that Cabrini Green actually existed in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
It did. That was one of the roughest areas we had in our area at that time. A lot of gangs often hung out there. So a lot of what you see in that movie is pretty much real of the life that went on in Cabrini Green. Cabrini Green today, Cabrini Green no longer exists anymore. They tore down the majority of the apartment buildings because of all the gang activity and stuff. There was actually, and I'll even just throw this out. This was I can't believe I'm even about to say this, but this was kind of a smart thing. But one of our mayors actually stayed in one of those buildings in the 80s, and while she was staying there, there was no problems then. There was no gang activity. It was utopia. But afterwards, about a week or so later, she moved back to her original home and gave the building back. And then the next thing you know, they had this whole crime thing that was going on where they developed this new tactic where they would have these giant doors that they would use. The buildings became eventually known as the fort. So to just put in a simple perspective, like how this would work is that they would go out in the streets, just like you see in Candyman, and these people would either be selling drugs or something like that. And when police officers came through, when they came around the corners, those gang members would walk into the building, close the door, and walk away. And there was nothing that they could do because they couldn't sneak out the back. So that's when eventually they had to tear down those buildings. So what you see in Candyman no longer exists.
Which they did kind of mention that in the 2021 Candyman. That whole area. And I like that they did that because you remember what the original showed you. Just these projects, this rundown, this very much like just terrible place to live, and you could see how it's affecting people. And then they mentioned in the 2021 version, and they're like, yeah, but there's also problems that come with what they've done here. So
that is true. Yeah,
speaking to both sides of everything. I'm not short enough to be a leprechaun, but if you really want me to get there, boy.
Come on, have some faith in that, laddie.
We're talking about Michael Myers.
Sit there and dance around me cauldron of gold.
I love it.
Bash upside the head with my shillelagh.
That's pretty good.
Well, did Nick just ascend into the air and disappear?
That's pretty good.
Did anybody else see that?
Like a leprechaun.
He just went.
Jeff like that is working his leprechaun. Jeff like that is working his leprechaun magic, laddie.
To be sure.
Yeah, Nick.
I got nothing. I tried. I got nothing.
Nick.
Talking of
Portal.
Talking of
Wingardium Leviosa.
Talking of horror films, I would like to see a really good version of Ghost Rider without Nicolas Cage.
There you go. I knew you were going to say that.
I would really
Nicolas
like,
Cage,
but
do we?
honestly, I want a good Ghost Rider.
Well, there was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that show. I'm pretty sure they did have Ghost Rider in there that was not Nicolas Cage. So I think that's about as close
Yeah,
as
but still, like, it was kind of missing. Like, you need a really strong actor to play Ghost Rider. You really do.
I got it.
You want the guy from Deadpool?
I was just going to say, you
No.
can't have Ryan Reynolds. You can't
No,
have
that
Ryan
ain't going to work either.
No, it's too much.
He's already
There'd
been.
have to be a variant.
He's already been 2 superheroes. That's
Yeah.
it.
I honestly think if they were to do another
Green
Ghost Rider
Lantern.
movie, they
Don
should
Houses.
give us the Old West version. Go
Yeah.
back.
Wait, hang on. Let's see what you got here.
This is live
Spawn.
action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spawn.
Spawn.
Okay.
I'm going to zoom in on that.
The cartoon.
Oh, Spawn.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
live action Spawn. That's actually good this time.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
That's
I
good.
like the cartoon
Spawn's
way,
awesome.
way better.
The animation.
Yeah,
was
the
good.
cartoon was good.
Oh, no, the HBO animation was amazing. You know,
Yeah.
Keith
They
David
should have kept going.
Keith David nailed that role, and I love how he reprised that role when he was a DLC character in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah. Yeah, like somebody with that, like charisma and flair, but not too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Oh hell, Robert Downey Jr. Let's just go for it.
I mean,
Oh, not again. Isn't he going to be somebody else now? Dr. Doom, right? What the hell?
I know. Yeah, Robert
What
Downey Jr.
the hell?
What in the hell?
What's
Tony
going on?
Stark was Doctor Doom in some of the universes in Marvel. So
I disagree. He's not allowed to be Dr. Doom. Give somebody else a chance.
So here's kind of a concept. We have all these musicals, right? Like West Side Story and like Wizard of Oz and whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
What would you think if you turned one of those into like a horror flick?
They are. They're turning Wizard of Oz into a horror flick.
They do the Shining musical.
Wizard of Oz already pretty scary as it is.
I guess I'm out of the game. I didn't see that one with this Wizard of Oz into a horror flick.
God.
If they could do it with Winnie the Pooh,
called?
they could do it with a musical.
Oh, here. Wizard
Funny
of Oz.
Girl.
Oh, here.
Horror movie.
Here it is. Wizard of Oz.
Grease, the horror movie.
Here it is. Wizard of Oz horror film is going to be called Gale, Stay Away from Oz. That's what it's called.
Oh, you know what? No, I think I did see that. I went and saw Twisters, and that was part of the previews.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You're right.
It's like, why? That's the main
Yeah.
question.
Well,
what's the
they take
point?
each film and make it as dark as they can make it.
I don't know.
They could totally do it with the Teletubbies.
They're doing it with Bambi. They're doing
I
it
like
with Pinocchio. They're doing this with all sorts of things that are now going to be public domain from Disney.
Right.
I like to see them go back to 70s style horror movies. I think those were the ticket.
HR Puff and stuff.
70s show.
Throw some Vincent Price in there.
Oh, yeah.
Witchy Poo.
Oh, yeah. Great British actor.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's just get Land of the Lost, but really messed up and dark.
Land of the Lost.
Just imagine what the Sleep
Land of the Lost Giants.
Yeah, the Slee Stacks, just ritualistic sacrifice and whatever else.
Yeah.
HR Puff and stuff.
Yeah.
And just have me voice one of those horror villains in that.
Yeah.
like Frank Welker's style of the deep guttural voice. It's like, who dares disturb my slumber?
I'll get you next
That's
time.
pretty good.
Gadget. Next time.
I was gonna say that.
Next time. Yeah.
I'll get you, Gadget. Next time.
I've been watching those.
He also did that same thing. He did that for Spawn too, in the live action Spawn, when he was like a Malboja. Yeah, the Demon Lord saying, "You must ensure Spawn keeps his end of the bargain."
Yeah.
Don's face when he did that voice. Damn.
Hey,
No, that's fine. It's just it made it so much better.
Whenever I mimic voices like that, I always like to use these facial expressions to really just really mold into the character. Like when I do Pennywise, just be like, just be like, "We all float down there." Yes, we do.
Down there.
Yeah, like
Now,
that.
Santiago brought up a good point earlier. Is it the Pennywise from It or is it the Pennywise from the Dark Tower?
From the new It, Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, but I'm talking about which of the two, because it's the same one, but where did it come from originally? Obviously from the Dark Tower.
Same place as
And
Mary
found a
Poppins,
pool.
if you read that one theory.
Yeah. But she's bundled.
They both show up, both have attraction to kids, both feed off their emotions.
I still say Tim Curry's a better Pennywise anyway. So
Yeah.
He's a legend.
You nailed that.
And
Kurt.
legend, yes.
we all float down here.
Yeah, we all
float down here.
Don't you want it?
Come on.
Don't you
The
want
next
it?
Pennywise is going to be played by Nick
Yeah,
Cage.
want it? Don't you want a balloon?
I'm gonna have to sign off, guys. It's getting pretty late.
Oh, well, hey, it was good.
Signing off, Darren?
Yeah, I gotta go because I gotta be up by 3:00 in the morning for work.
Oh,
hell with that.
Jeez.
Well, hey, it was really nice to meet you, Darren, and I wish the very best for your wife.
Yeah, very best for
Thank
your
you.
wife,
I
Darren.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll have to come back on again. This was a lot of fun.
We'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Later, guys.
Have a good one, bud.
Yeah,
Bye,
you
Darren.
too.
Bye,
Bye.
Darren.
Where's Nick gone?
Yeah, he disappeared again.
Don't look at me. I
He
did
did
this
this
more
away.
leprechaun
And
match.
there were 8 of us.
More leprechaun match. Work, me, lads and laddies.
Isn't that like a play or something? Or like people keep dying?
Yeah. Now you were saying before about which one scared us the most. For me, it would have to be Jeepers Creepers because the bad guy wins in the end. They don't have a one of the normal endings. So
Yeah, it did try to do something different. I often refer to Jeepers Creepers as the best horror film that was ever made by a convicted pedophile. That's the reason why I don't cover it on this show.
okay, I didn't know he was. Didn't know it was another one.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
How
but
did Jeepers get a truck from Instagram?
it's like but the sad thing is that me and Nick, when we first met when we were 12, we were talking about Jeepers Creepers because both of us had seen it around that same time, and so we were 12. We were drawing pictures of the creeper, like we were hanging out at Hard Rock Cafe, Chicago. So I was shocked to learn later the truth of that film movie.
Well, there's another one that I saw when I was about 4 or 5, and I'm 51 now, so that tells you how long ago it was. I can't remember the name of the film, but the premise of it was this guy finds this alien device. He puts it on his arm, and it's some sort of power device that's a weapon. And he goes about shooting all the army that comes out chasing him. And they all turn to a green sort of glow, and then they just melt down.
I'm seeing it in my head.
Is that Laser Blast?
I think
I
so.
can't remember.
It sounds like that movie that was featured on MSTK3.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. 'Cause that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, Mystery
It could
Science
be.
Theater 2000.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some really bad movies on there.
I know.
I saw Devilfish on there. I've seen Werewolf, which was hilariously bad.
Puma Man.
You got to watch Zombievers before you can say you've seen a bad movie.
Oh my god!
Or Weed Wolf.
Well, you've all already seen a really bad movie, but you all seem to like it. Sharknado.
Yeah, it's the one movie you don't want to talk about.
Ghost
Yeah.
Rider?
Hey, remember weeks ago when we had those tornadoes? Like we were fearing they were doing a touchdown around Chicago. When my family was like keeping each other updated, I sent them a picture saying, "This is what has been spotted around Navy Pier," and it was a picture of a Sharknado.
It's like what strain of weed were they smoking?
All of it.
Yeah.
When they came up with
It was laced with something else.
They got some pretty good shit down there in Chicago. I can tell you that firsthand. But I think I got some better shit when I was in Michigan.
There you go.
Well, thankfully they haven't done a Sharktopus NATO yet.
Because the kid,
NATO.
the one guy that was staying there, he grew his own. Because they can do that in Michigan. And he had some, Some really good.
My contractor grows his own here.
I mean, look at that video, Tom. You asked if I had been drinking. I had a Mountain Dew can in front of me.
Sounded like you were drunk.
Oh, you've been drinking.
Yeah.
But he asked if I was drunk that night. I was smoking some pretty good shit.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, Blair Witch Project. It's definitely broke new grounds as far as horror with its suspense, with its like realism, and also a pretty shocking ending.
Okay.
Yeah, where
I'm surprised we haven't talked about that ending yet.
yes, where they found a house, and it's like a creepy old house. Let's go inside. Yeah,
Abandoned house.
Well, that's what ghosts hunters do nowadays.
Yeah.
Well,
and contrary to popular belief, like when it comes to like abandoned places like that, I mean, they are abandoned, but it's not fully abandoned. So in a way, it is basically trespassing because even if nobody personally owns that house, that
back to the state, doesn't it?
Places like that are still owned by the state, so somebody usually owns it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's one thing. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a few places that I know that, and I'm not confessing to trespassing. I'm not, but I've gone to a few abandoned haunted locations, and the majority of those places I've gone to either I got permission to go to them, so I obviously going in legally, or if it is like a very notorious haunted location, and if it's like a place where like even the state's saying, just let these people go because this is a lot of people like coming out there. That's the only time that I've ever gone to places like that. So either through permission or if it is truly a place that they're just like, hell with it. If you want to go in, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's also quite dangerous, like especially in the UK, a lot of abandoned places have squatters living in them because there's like a housing crisis and everything. So there could be people in there hiding, and that's actually more terrifying than any ghost. Because
absolutely, that would be anywhere because you've got the homeless population around here. They find an abandoned place close to a town or something that they can get to easily.
Of course,
they're gonna squat down in there.
Yeah.
Well, there was this place and scare the hell out of them. You don't know if they've got a gun. You don't know if they got a knife.
And it's the
hiding.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen walking in there.
Away from all that, all the abandoned places.
Probably one of the most. I would say probably one of the most perfect examples of that, and I know this from experience. But go ahead. Go on, Joe.
And then you have the danger of if you walk into one of these places, like falling through the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what shape it's in. So my best advice is just take pictures from the outside.
Yeah.
I've often told a lot of people, especially those that actually want to investigate with us on places like this, and even if we got the permission to go, or whatever the case is, like even if we got legal permission to enter a place, I often tell especially a lot of new recruits that whenever we go to these places, we need to be extremely careful because it can get pretty dangerous. Oftentimes, we'll usually encounter, broken staircases or collapsed floors. So it's often something we got to be very careful with. It's not paranormal investigating is fun, but at the same time, it's not something to mess around with, not just in the paranormal aspect, but actually in the physical aspect when you're actually investigating these places. And that's something that some people don't. We just lost Tom again.
No, Tom left a message on the side if you read.
Oh, he did.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he does. He has something with his dad.
Okay. Well, hey, Tom, it was good to have you on, man. Yeah.
But that's something that's just something you got to be real careful with when you go to these places. But I was going to say probably the most perfect example of like when it comes to like squatters or something. This actually occurred on a paranormal show. And this is one that I bring up this is a show I bring up a lot of time because it's one of the older shows. It was the show Scariest Places on Earth. And this was definitely one of the few times they definitely didn't encounter anything paranormal, but they definitely saw something that Hey, Lois, she's in the chat. What's up?
Lois. Hello.
She, even though it wasn't paranormal, it was definitely something in that they encountered that scared the hell out of them, where they were investigating this abandoned hospital somewhere. I think it was in Massachusetts, or it was somewhere up in the Northeast. I can't remember exactly where it was, but they were Don. They were able to get permission to investigate, and they definitely got a lot of interesting results while they were there. However, at one point, one of the guys, as he said in the interview, he was looking out into the morgue area, into the back of the building, and at one point, he saw a leg, and it began to move. So they just got out there as quickly as they could. They didn't want to wait to find out. They didn't want to wait to see and find out who that was. But as soon as they saw that,
out the leg.
Yeah, as soon as they saw that leg, they just burst out and got the hell out of there immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just say, hi, Lois. It's 4 a.m. where Lois is in Scotland right now.
Yeah.
That's like dedication.
What time? 3 a.m.?
4 a.m.
No, 4 a.m.
Holy crap.
I know.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's awesome you're watching.
Awesome. Yes. So yeah, Blair Witch Project. Oh man, like I do fondly remember this movie coming out in the theaters, even though I was way too young to see it yet. But I was satisfied seeing it as a teenager, and yeah, like that definitely is one of my favorite found footage horror films. Second only to this.
There you go, Wreck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. You have to
really
see it. If you're a horror fan, you have to see it because it was like so groundbreaking for the time.
It's funny because I really like this movie. My wife, take it or leave it. She's like, but found footage isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I saw the adult version of this first before I saw this one.
Oh God.
The Bear Wench Project.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was called.
I'm just gonna say this.
I had Showtime when that was available.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's the funny thing. I will say that's kind of the funny thing too. I mean, ever since the Blair Witch Project's original release, there have been plenty of parodies and homages, especially to that, like what you have behind you, Jeff, that famous scene in the background with the guy in the corner.
Ironically, that's what made me want to go watch the original.
Yeah.
Well, probably
parodying
Scooby-Doo Project.
Because there's so many homages and parodies of it. I think the most recent one that I probably have seen, and this was featured in a horror game, Don. It was actually featured. There's a scene in the game Outlast. Like if you remember, like at one point you had to go down, not in the early part of the game because it's in the later part where you have to go downstairs. You have to go downstairs to this basement. And of course, obviously, you got a night vision camera, which is the only thing you could use. You don't get to fight anybody in the game except for scripted scenes. And as you're going throughout this big, dark, wide basement, there's a guy in the corner, a variant, as they call him. There's a variant standing in the corner. And you see a lot of gameplays. Everybody does the same thing. They approach him. They're like, the hell is that guy doing? And as soon as they approach him, the difference is, unlike in Blair Witch, the guy turns around, he stabs you right there. It's like, okay, wasn't supposed to do that. That guy did not want to be friendly.
Western Enderman.
And then there were some other people who said, well, I guess people like their privacy.
Oh, yeah. The second one. Neither was I, Lois. Neither was I. I think that the second one is terrible, and I've been repressing that ever since I first saw it when I was 12.
I'll give them credit for trying to do something different with it, but it's not good. And I watched the third one, but I don't remember it. I have to go back and watch it again because I watched it really late one night, and I started to drill before it was over.
Yeah, there you go, Lois. That's my ideal scenario too.
There you go.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
you know what?
We can do a date.
What was that, Kate?
We have to fly you to Scotland and give you a date.
There you go.
Well,
fly over, Nick.
I never really had been to an abandoned house, but I have been to a wooded area at night, during an investigation. You guys remember that last year, right? When I did that live investigation. And that was probably as close as I can get to like a real life Blair Witch situation. I mean, I wasn't completely alone in the woods. Let's be honest here. I had a few other people with, but the worst part was, unlike you see in Blair Witch, was that my friend who was with me at that time, she had my phone, so she had the light. So, no, I take that back. She took the only sort of light that I had. Busy rolling out
and it's dancing. All of that dancing, Nick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like she took my only sort of light, so I had to look for her in the woods, and I couldn't use the phone light because I was still filming live on Facebook. So I had to completely search the woods in the dark with nothing. I mean, it really did look like a lost found footage movie of itself.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I was concerned about coyotes more than anything else.
Yeah, to be honest, like the paranormal doesn't scare me. It's real life people and psychopaths in the woods and animals and yeah.
Oh, here, Lois. We're about to end this in a little bit. If you want to jump on and say hi real quick, then right now would be definitely going to be a good time.
Yeah, avoid Nick when he's in tartan because you might be killed.
Yeah, the kilt's on right now, Robert. I'd be careful.
I just wanted to answer Santi's comment.
Oh yeah.
Because of Kate's background about no, Santi, no, this is nightmare fuel. Okay.
Yep. That's my newest role.
Yeah.
Be sure to see it at Christmas.
Nightmares, not
Hey, Nick, are you sending on Lois?
Yeah, I'll send it to her. I mean, at first I thought she was gonna. At first I thought she was just gonna go through the chat, but I'll just send it to her personally. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's Chance Cage. The situation.
Now for something completely different.
Yeah. Nicholas Cage in the Blair Witch Project. What was that? I think there's something. Oh my turns.
Just Nick Cage trying to avoid the tax collectors coming after him for a certain point in his life.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
He's living off the grid. That's why he's.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I do want to say, going back. If I can get my words together, I'll say this right.
Okay.
Circling back to Blair Witch, I like the mental breakdown of everyone in this. That downward spiral. It's really well done. Because there's anger, there's fear, there's distrust among them all. Yeah. Especially like the point where Josh has the camera and he's got it in Heather's face going, this is what you want. What's your motivation, Heather? What's your motivation? I'm like, this is the first time I saw it, I was like, this is messed up.
Creepy.
These people are losing it.
You can
even
see
watching it back, it's really good.
You can see how like unhinged they get and you feel that push and it's like, oh, okay, this is tense.
It even gets to a point where it's like they're even kind of turning against each other. You're like, here they were in the beginning, all excited putting this together, and then all of a sudden they start fighting and arguing over it. It's like you could tell they're losing their mentality, and it's like,
isn't that sad? That's what happens in like Lord of the Flies. Is that really what human nature is about?
Yeah,
it's scary. That's the real horror.
And it's crazy to see at the end because they're so far gone. I think they know there's no chance they're going to get out of there, but they're trying to hold on to that little bit of hope. Like, we can find Josh. We can help him to get out of here. But deep down, they're going, this is it for us. Everything is gone at that point. They're just trying to claim that anything they can. And it's just.
It does add a little bit disturbing content, too, just because of the utter helplessness they have, knowing that they're not going to survive, and there's no chance for them to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, here they are trapped in the middle of the woods far from civilization, far from any pathways too, and nobody can find them or even knows that they're out there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Dun, dun, dun.
I've seen this a lot I say this a lot for a lot of haunted locations, especially wooded areas. Like when you're kind of in that situation, there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go, especially, again, if you haven't told anybody, because they don't know where you are now. So it gets to a point where there's just nothing people like them could do. Or you know, like, and it really has happened in real life. You know, there's no way you can get yourself out of this, especially like, let's just say like down in the southern part of Illinois, where it's mostly rural and forest area, and there's a lot of paranormal cryptid stories there too. But it's also an area too where a lot of people have gotten lost. So I can certainly say from experience, in the middle of deep south, just like Blair Witch, in the middle of deep southern Illinois woods, nobody's going to hear you scream.
No, in the woods, no one can hear you scream.
But they do hear the bad news.
But
You can't hear you scream with the Abbey either, Nick.
Yeah, and that of course is a hint. Yeah, what I was saying, that of course is a hint as to what to expect next week. Next week we're covering Alien.
Okay. So there's two ways that could have gone with that one.
Yeah,
I haven't been in a store like that in a long time, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, my all-time favorite horror film. Next week we're covering it.
Cool.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, because the new one, Alien Romulus, is coming out next week. So
really,
so I decided, you know what? On the same week that comes out, we're covering Alien. That's what I decided.
Cool.
Yes,
awesome.
Makes sense to me.
It's also a good way to kind of represent not only the new one coming out, but also because this year is also the 45th anniversary of Alien.
Yes.
So
that theme just shocked everybody. My dad told me when he watched it.
My mom saw it in theaters when it first came out.
Yeah, my dad did. He said everybody was shocked when this thing came out.
Yeah. See, there he's got it.
Yeah.
Got this. And
Some people were sick talking about the theme of sick.
I have the Alien quad. I think it's quadrilogy box set on Blu-ray. So yeah. I had to have all of those. I haven't got the other ones yet. The completest in me needs to get like Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Oh, yes. But before anybody asks, no, we're not covering Aliens right after that. I already have the next one planned.
What is it? Come on.
Predator.
No.
And then they fight each other.
Come on, kill me! Do it now! Kill me! Come on, I'm right here. Kill me!
That one, Tom, that one is something Tom definitely needs to be a part, because I can hear Tom like
yes, Tom. Yeah, I'm gonna let him know.
Even better yet, that is the episode where we definitely have to be good neighbors.
Yep. We need to be good neighbor. State Farm is there.
Neighbor.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Neighbor.
Yep. You saw at the end of what happened in Predator. That's what happens. That's what happens when you're not a good neighbor.
And speaking of good neighbors, you just showed up. All right.
You've got to get to the chopper.
Yep. Hey, it's all about being. It says neighbor, just like it's written in the paper.
You're pushing too many pencils, Dylan.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hello.
I just thought I'd pop on and say hi. Aye, not bad. I just don't want to put my face on cam because my hair's like riot. I look like I've been dragged out of bed.
Well, at least now, when I get on your show, you'll know what I look like.
But I just wanted to pop on and say hi, guys. But Blair Witch is a good one to cover. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 25 years ago since this movie came out. I was only 7 at the time.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh,
I was 19.
How
Jesus.
fast time goes by.
26.
I mean,
I'm not going to attempt the math.
It's a quarter of a century ago.
I know. I feel old now. I remember things that kids today would not have any idea about, like phone booths, or VHS.
Yeah.
Dial rotary phones. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Video stores, all these things that don't exist.
Yeah.
Don't exist anymore.
And I've been to Best Buy recently. No physical copies of any movies anymore. None.
No.
It's. I'm not gonna get up on my soapbox about physical media because I'm a physical media guy.
Me too.
Same.
You don't
got
own
there,
anything
Robert? Yeah, let's
digitally.
see. Here, wait, Robert. What was that you had?
The BBC version.
Oh, Ghosts.
I love that show.
I love that.
Now I haven't watched the
Amazing,
BBC
Robert.
one yet, but
Oh, here. FBest says Blair Witch was only an anomaly. Crazy how a low budget movie could be released during its time and then have a high budget, and then like against all odds become a huge hit. Yes.
Yeah.
It was definitely
It was a Guinness World Record breaker.
It was.
Yeah.
You have to attribute it to being able to use the infant internet at the time for your marketing campaign and festivals. Word of mouth at those festivals got it around, and then your internet campaign of this is real footage. You know,
Yeah,
these
I
people
believe it
really
came
out
out
there.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it came out of the Sundance Film Festival before it got released internationally.
Yep.
I think
It's not even just that. There's a lot of good. Sorry, Nick. There's a lot of good movies out there, and see if you really had to look at Blair Witch, they would probably put it under a B movie, but it's one of the found footages that are really, really good. And I've actually, thanks to the Blair Witch project, I'll watch a lot of found footage movies, and no, there's really, really good ones out there. You've got the likes of Hell House, you've got VHS, that's another good one.
We were just talking about that earlier.
That franchise, don't get me wrong, it's really messed up, but it's really good movies. But yeah, there's a lot of found footage out there, and I probably wouldn't be into found footage if it wasn't for the Blair Witch Project.
I think one of my other favorite ones, I'm surprised no one has mentioned this one. One of my other favorites, I think, of found footage horror undoubtedly would have to be The Devil's Due from 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I think the same director who worked on that also worked on Abigail, directed Abigail.
I think so as well. Yeah, it was along the lines of like Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity. Again, another found footage movie with the guy who had a camera all over the damn place. And that's what I really liked about that one.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciated from a few years back the Taking of Deborah Logan, which was going out to document. You know,
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that yet.
The first time I saw it, when you get to the point where you realize what's happening, my jaw hit the floor because I was not expecting what you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, and I've seen so much horror for something to make me go, wait, what is going on? I commend them for that. Plus, I like the fact that it was just this documentary crew out there to film an elderly woman in mental decline with her condition, and
man,
it's yeah, that one was really, really good. I recommend it.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Yeah, this I gotta see.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the point where we're gonna wrap it up here. But yeah, Blair Witch Project. If you haven't seen it, if you enjoy a good found footage horror film, this is definitely for you. It is like I said, it's second for me, second only to Wreck.
I'd say it's a good entry for people who don't like gory or super violent horror film, because it's all atmosphere.
That's right.
Yeah, psychological.
Yeah, because because
I was literally about to say that actually. You took the words right out from me, Kate.
Yeah, because when we look at all kinds of horror films out there, you see all kinds of like decapitations, you see like people getting cut up, people all that blood and guts and whatnot. But Blair Witch Project, Blair Witch Project, Blair Witch Project has none of that.
So yeah, that's why it's more of a psychological horror film than anything else. I mean, it's more psychological than really truly supernatural, even though that it is kind of a paranormal journey that they're making. It still has that psychological look to it.
Right. Exactly.
You do realise what I'm going to do now that I'm up after I've done with you guys. I'm off to watch the Blair Witch Project.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that is going to be it for this edition of the Fear Fans podcast. Be sure to tune in next week as we cover my all-time favorite horror film, Alien. Just in time for Alien Romulus. I cannot wait for this. This is one of the biggest movies that I've been waiting so long to cover. I don't even know what to say. I'm out of breath now.
How excited he is!
Yeah.
So super pumped for it. Can't wait.
Awesome.
So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button if you did. Share with your friends and subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel, to Nick's channel, to Things Network, to This Is Tom's World. Yeah, subscribe to everything you see here.
TV, don't
Your
forget.
Universe podcast.
Network.
Yes. Yeah, Tales from the Podcast, of course.
Insane Asylum.
Podcast.com.
Let's not, I was going to say, and let's not forget, most importantly, this is Tom's World.
Well, yeah.
Didn't I say that? I thought I did.
You probably did.
Hey, you know what? We got to say it as many times as we can because he needs those subscribers.
His channel's growing now. Yep. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.